So today, we're going to have our furnace replaced. I'm Steve.
I'm Nancy, and together we are living our dream. Our goal, to travel the U.S. and Canada.
While spreading the messages taught to us by our pets of
Keep smiling, be kind,
and be happy. Join us on our travels by subscribing to our channel as we continue our great adventure. We were having problems with the burner. The furnace would kick on, the fan would go, and then the burner started to go, but the burner would make a really strange sound. It would light, then not light, then light, then not light. And we took it into the dealer where we bought it. They adjusted the pressure regulator and they assumed that that might fix it. If not, they'd have to take it out and do more diagnosis. Well, I called a remote mobile RV tech, and the guy has like 15 years or plus experience. And he came out and he diagnosed it very quickly because he did the same thing, or suspected the same thing I suspected, which is an issue with the burner. So the burner was going bad. In order to replace the burner on this type of furnace was going to cost quite a few hours. So it was easier just to replace the entire furnace, and that way also update all the other mechanisms on the furnace. So that's what we decided to do. Many thanks to Scott with RV Medic LLC. He did a thorough job of testing not only the furnace, but the entire propane system. It was really surprising to me to see how easy it was for Scott to take the furnace out, disconnect 3 wires after taking a picture to know which wires to connect later, and then disconnect the propane after turning the propane off, of course. Oh, so I thought you were going to have to unscrew some of the duct stuff. They're not really hard attached. Okay.
So this is the newest iteration.
And the new furnace slid right in. So are there screws that hold that down, or you just...
Yeah, there's a screw that goes in right here.
And that's the only one?
Yep.
Now I see the cell switch. Okay. The cell switch on the old furnace was inside and impossible to access. This new furnace was much better for troubleshooting in the future.
Yeah, so these are the wiring connectors that Winnebagos always use. I love them. They never go bad. It's hard to get a bad crimp.
Yeah, and you need something that's going to stick through all the rumbling down the road.
So I don't like these because these have been the cause of more failures.
I hate those.
And work, and I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't even.
Let's turn the gas back on. It's just so much brighter. I'm almost trying to see. It's running, you can tell. And it's running solid. Yeah, the burner's much more consistent.
If it's burning and you have to question whether it really is or not, it's working correctly. Yeah, so 10, this is the inch of the water columns on the outside. So we have a lockup pressure of 12 inches, 75,000 BTUs is 10 inches, and then with this, which is around 42,000 BTUs, we're at like 10 3/4, which is perfect, exactly what it's supposed to be.
So why was it done at 6 before?
When we do, so that regulator can handle this much
But
fuel,
not this and this?
but this is double. So when I turn this bleeder off, when I turn the bleeder on,
Yeah.
it's drawing, it's allowing twice what that uses, and the LP detector can't keep up with it.
So the only time I might be drawing that much though is if I were using like all 3 burners in.
Or the oven.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a water heater if you're using a
Water
gas.
heater, because yeah.
Yeah, because that has used quite a bit of fuel also.
Okay.
Yep. And I've seen these melt before due to low pressure.
Really?
So yeah, these will actually catch on fire. I had one customer, the one that I replaced, just because
Wow.
It was heating up tea or something, and it was just taking forever. It turns out, half the flame was inside here, and these are just, I believe they're aluminum.
Yeah.
And it just had kind of expanded and mushroomed everything.
Wow. I mean, that was just a fan. Real way to test for leaks. See if your pressure goes down. They're moving around, do they?
Nope. You don't want going back together either.
Oh, jeez.
So this is what your service center said was an LP pressure problem that they supposedly fixed.
Oh, jeez. It was the burner.
Yep. So it should all look like this.
Oh yeah.
But,
I've seen it.
No rest, obviously. This is just because it heated and melted.
It heated so much, and that was because of the low pressure. Because of heat.
Yeah, because the flame is supposed to hover above this.
Yeah.
Because this is so the fuel comes through here,
okay, gotcha.
gets bled out through here. Plus, with the exhaust fan providing it with oxygen, air.
Yeah.
Normally, you can see just a little gap. What happens?
So it actually keeps the flame away from the burner.
Well, the flame is inside the burner.
Yeah, when it's low pressure. Yeah. Jeez. Okay. That's it. Confirmed. Well, the furnace is replaced. I couldn't be happier. We took the old furnace out and took it apart, and sure enough, the burner was just melted. And the explanation the mobile tech gave me was basically when you get low pressure, it was in the middle of winter. The tanks were getting a little bit low, so the cold temperatures plus the low tank would cause low pressure. And when the low pressure, the flame would get closer to the burner and then end up burning it out. So I've got to watch that in low temperatures. Try not to run too many propane items at the same time, because that will also, when I have a low tank, that will also cause the low pressure to cause the burners to go down. You can also see it on a stovetop because the flame will get closer and closer to the burner instead of standing off from the burner. So that was the issue. But he also found another issue. The regulator, when it was under high demand, would lose pressure. So that probably was possibly part of the cause as well. So we've got to replace the regulator as well. Another item that our original dealer never diagnosed. Ooh, oil coming out of it.
Yeah, and that's probably why this was failing, because of the
a leak in there somewhere.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be all air, but so what I've noticed in the past is a lot of times the LP will actually take some of the oils out of a hose like this.
Yeah.
Plus they put oil in the LP to give it a smell. So usually people that use a lot of propane will start to get this.
Oh. This is our external tank connected to our extend-a-stay, which is in line with the regulator. So it's still all going through the regulator and the tests all seem good. This is how we can have extra propane without having to go fill our onboard propane tank. And now put the regulator back in place. Interestingly enough, the regulator is mounted on this plate, which is then mounted here. Do some final testing, and that'll be one more project done. Really happy with this mobile RV tech. Somebody in the area that I can call on. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And subscribe if you'd like to see more of our RV and travel adventures as we go about living our dream. And as always, keep smiling and be kind.